I drove by, I thought it was a Halloween thing or something, but then I took a second glance and I just saw the dead body.
Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. In today's case, we will look over Dawn Meade. Dawn was only 40 years old when she died. She had her son, Joseph, at an early age, and the two were very close. In May 2017, Dawn was dropped off at the bus station with her boyfriend Greg Veers by her son Joseph. Dawn was moving from New Haven, Connecticut to Virginia to help Greg's grandmother and brother, James, get back on their feet. Dawn's sister, Denise, said they were excited for Dawn. Dawn was very loving and could make friends with everyone. Joseph said that Greg seemed funny and made his mom very happy. On September 21, 2017, Dawn and Greg decided to go out for dinner at a local pub. The next morning, on September 22nd, the sheriff's office received a 911 call at 7:38 a.m. The call was from James Veers, Greg's brother. James was known to the police as he usually called when he wanted mental health help. James told the police that he was feeling manic from his bipolar disorder. He said he woke up that morning and saw that his grandmother's car, a green 2014 Chevy Cruse, had been damaged. He said it looked like a deer had been hit. The hood of the car and windshield were damaged.
Yes, this is James Veers, and I was feeling kind of manic, bipolar disorder, and I really wanted to go to UVA today, but I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to do.
You said you're between a rock and a hard place. What did you mean by that?
I'm just looking at my grandmother's car, and it looks almost total.
Did you wreck the car, or did you wreck the car?
I don't know. I woke up this morning, walked outside my house, and the car was total. Looked like somebody ran over a deer with my grandmother's car.
While speaking to James, 2 911 calls would come in. The callers would state how they had just found a dead body. Both callers didn't know each other, but they saw the same mysterious body on the side of the road.
911 was the accident emergency.
I thought it was a Halloween thing or something, and I'm like, oh my God, is that a dead body?
We just kind of shared thoughts to help you.
There's a lady laying down in the back gate of Blue Ridge Shores that doesn't look good.
Doesn't look right.
No, she looks like she's been there for a while. And like I said, just the way she's laying down, she's face down, you know, it looks like something in a movie.
And do you feel comfortable going over there and checking on her for me?
I don't think she's breathing. I don't see her chest moving.
While deputies were speaking to James, he told them that his brother's girlfriend Dawn didn't return home last night. Deputies were already learning about the victim being found and knew that the car at James' house had damage to it. They started linking both scenes, and deputies asked to speak with James' brother Greg.
Hey, Greg? Sheriff's office. Come on outside, man. You ain't weapons on you or anything.
Can you tell me what's going on with this car?
No idea. So where have you been for the last 24 hours or so?
That bad? It's broken. A car is broken. What the hell does that have to do with me? Well,
While the police were talking to James, he was read his Miranda rights, but he pled the fifth. Greg was also handcuffed so that he wouldn't interfere with the investigation. Greg and James' grandmother could be heard on the police body cam asking Greg if he knew that Dawn was dead. Greg then jumps up from the front porch and says, "What? My girlfriend's fucking dead."
Did you know Dawn was dead?
what?
Sit down.
What?
I just
Sit down,
think she
bud.
was hit by this
Sit
car.
down.
Are you kidding me?
Sit down, Greg.
Dude,
Sit down.
my
Sit down.
girlfriend's dead.
Sit down. My girlfriend's
Dead. That's what they told me, honey. They think she was hit by my car.
Look, we're trying to figure out what happened, all right? If there's something you can tell us, we can reach your rights and you can tell us what happened.
While the police were in the driveway, deputies noticed red residue coming from the rear of the vehicle. Greg then walked over to them and kicked the car like he was trying to remove the evidence. The police took Greg down to the station for further questioning.
Where? All over the back of it.
Can you show me?
You're not messing with evidence here.
Blood, dude.
This is evidence. See blood, lights, touch
Open.
it,
You
you're
touch
going to
it
be
again,
arrested. You understand?
Tampering with evidence.
Dawn's purse was also found inside the house. Inside, the police found a receipt from the Courthouse Cafe. It was a restaurant and pub. While the brothers were at the police station, James told the police that he had pled the fifth because he didn't want to get anyone in trouble. James said the last person to drive the Chevy Cruse was his brother Greg. He told them he didn't know anything about that night. The victim was identified as Dawn by a tattoo that she had on her lower leg. Dawn had been found lying face down in a ditch next to a tree about 20 feet away from the street. Her body had been found right outside the gated area of the Blue Ridge Shores. The Blue Ridge Shores was a private community. The building had tons of cameras surrounding the place, so whoever was driving that car would have been seen coming home and leaving. Dawn had severe injuries that were consistent with being hit by a car. She had extensive injuries to her neck and lower abdomen. She also had a honeycomb pattern on her legs from the grill of the car. The Chevy Cruse had a unique honeycomb pattern on the grill, which matched the pattern on Dawn's legs. Dawn was hit so hard that her shoes landed in two different areas. One shoe was found in a tree, and the other was found about 28 feet away from her. Just next to the crime scene was a guard shack for the entrance of the community. The guard shack had multiple surveillance cameras. The police started by watching the footage around 8 p.m. and wouldn't see anything till 11:02 p.m. when they got their first glimpse at the Chevy Cruse. The police couldn't tell who was driving, but the license plate was visible and matched the car in Greg's driveway. The car entered the community at 11:02 p.m. but left again and returned at 11:41 p.m. There was no damage to the car yet. The vehicle again returned to the entrance but left again at 11:51 p.m. At 12:25 a.m., the car, now damaged, returned at a high-rated speed. The front license plate was almost bouncing as it was crooked and basically falling off. The car left again for one last time. When it returned at 12:39 a.m., the driver didn't use the key card entrance. Instead, the driver uses the curve of the car to lift the bar and drove underneath it. Luckily, the Courthouse Cafe had surveillance cameras. Dawn and Greg were seen entering the pub at 9:35 p.m. It seemed like they were getting along. A little while later, they could be seen playing pool and having drinks. While they were playing, Greg's body language seemed to change. He seemed angry, especially when another man approached them and said he wanted to play the winner. The winner was Dawn, so the two played and talked. Dawn and Greg left the pub a little after 10 p.m. and could be seen getting into the Chevy Cruse. The other man stayed at the bar, so he was ruled out. The police asked Greg where they went after leaving the pub. Greg said they fooled around in a field until Dawn got upset.
Where'd y'all go when you left?
Left the Courthouse Cafe. And we started fooling around in the field. And then she got upset with me.
Greg said Dawn had walked away, so he drove around for a while looking for her. The police asked Greg what their fight was about. Greg said Dawn was mad because she wanted to drive, but he didn't let her because they had been drinking.
What was the fight over, man? What the hell? Was she just getting into the damn car or something?
She wanted to drive, but I didn't want her to drive because we were drinking. And it was my grandmother's car. And if anything happened to it, I wanted to be responsible for it.
Earlier in the day, Greg told the police that he didn't usually drive the car and hadn't driven that night. But when the police continued questioning him, his story changed. Greg told them that he had hit a mailbox that night, which is why the car was damaged. The police checked the area, but there were no damaged mailboxes.
Off the road and hit like a box mailbox or something.
Oh.
And I think that's why the car got up.
You know, it wasn't a animal.
No, it wasn't an animal. I was looking beep, 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 beep.
Oh.
You know?
Greg said that his grandmother took the keys to the car away from him when he got home. He told them that his brother would often steal the keys from her room and was probably the one who took the car next.
But your grandma took the keys?
As soon as we got home.
Okay. So she had control of the car keys?
Yeah, but my brother will go in her room when she's sleeping and find them.
The police confronted Greg and said that Dawn died because she was hit by the car. They also knew from Greg's grandmother that she had only given permission to Greg to use the car and that James never left the house.
She was hit by the car. There's impressions of the grill on her and the car that already they can tell that match.
Greg continued to deny that he had anything to do with Dawn's death. The police learned that there was an order of protection between Dawn and Greg. Greg had been violent before and had once given Dawn a black eye.
I will tell the prosecutor, you guys are not here to help me. I told you what I told you because I care about her, and she's gone now.
When the police left the room, Greg can be heard saying, "Why did I say a fucking thing? You know better than that, dude."
Why did I say a thing, dude? You know better than that.
The police were able to identify Greg as the driver from the Blue Ridge surveillance footage. In the bar, Greg was wearing a fluorescent yellow t-shirt. His t-shirt could be seen in the video when the arm comes out of the car to enter the subdivision. The police examined the surveillance footage one more time. At 12:30 a.m., when Greg entered the subdivision for the last time, he had changed his sweatshirt. He had been wearing the same blue sweatshirt the next morning when he was taken to the police station. Greg Reviers was arrested and charged with Dawn's murder. Greg's trial began on December 12, 2018. From the evidence, the theory was that Greg and Dawn left the pub together. They had gotten into an argument during the night, so Dawn got out of the car. Greg was seen leaving several times because he was looking for her. The police believe that when Greg was seen driving at a high-rated speed, it was when he hit Dawn. He left the area one more time to make sure she was dead. Greg claimed to love Dawn, but he showed no remorse. On December 14, 2018, Greg was found guilty of first-degree murder and a felony hit and run. He was sentenced to life in prison. Dawn seemed like a loving mother, sister, and daughter, and she was killed for absolutely no reason.